He usually has.
Yeah. I took the pickaxe, had it done, I dug it all out, then Brandon was showing.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Board of Works at 5 o'clock. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets,
Present.
Greg Miller,
Present.
Megan Sheets.
Present. Okay, first up on the agenda are the minutes from the May 23rd regular meeting and the June 7th special meeting.
I have one small correction. It's listed correctly on the agenda, but the hard copy you have of the June 7th minutes actually says June 8th. So that has been corrected in our system. I just wanted you to be aware of that.
I'll make the motion, we approve the May 23rd as well as the June 8th minutes.
A second.
Roll call please.
That would be June 7th.
Oh, it is June 7th. Okay. Oh, this
That's
is
okay.
correct. It's just what's on our pages. Okay.
Yes, what's on your hard copy of the minutes is that the agenda is correct.
Okay.
I thought I had it the other way around as well. Okay, so June 7th is what we need.
Thank you.
Okay, so May 23rd and June 7th. She's already said yes.
I'll second that again.
Okay. Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, next up are the claims for this week.
We have those sitting here, and so I'll make a motion, we approve the claims as presented this evening.
A second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, do we have any public, nothing? Okay, no public comments. We'll go ahead and start with the department reports. Chief Shoemaker, what do you have for us this evening?
If you didn't know, the Frankfurt Police beat the Frankfurt Fire Department.
I knew it, I just.
It was a good cause. They told me over $3,000 was raised for the Boys and Girls Club and the Special Olympics,
That's
Clinton
fantastic.
County, so.
It was a good game.
Other than a couple of sore guys, I hope nobody got hurt yesterday, or who were, we didn't want anybody to get to sprained ankles or issues like that, but. The item I have,
5 guys on call.
the Clinton County Fair is requesting Sunday, July 10th at 2 p.m. The parade that will begin at the library and travel around the square to south on Jackson Street to the fairgrounds. They're asking for right-of-way restrictions and closures on local city streets and then in the state highway.
Do you see any problems with that?
No.
Do you have any questions for him? Okay, do you have a motion to
Yep, I'll
approve
make a
that?
motion that we accept the closures for the fair parade as presented by Chief Shoemaker for July the 10th.
I'll second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Anything beyond that vote? Probably staying barricaded with the library, I'll give it to your guys. Other than that, we are prepared for the 4th of July at the TVA Park with overtime. We unfortunately had some rain outs of our concerts, but I think hopefully the next one, we're planning on it and having some additional officers at the request of the performers, I believe, and the organizers. So we want to make sure it's safe, and as well at the TVA Park for the fireworks. So we're planning that, beginning to plan for the parade and then the hot dog festival coming up for this summer. So that's what we're working on. We're just looking at the stats for the year. Everything is running in line with 2021 except for fuel. We obviously had an increase in our contracted rate, and I suspect we'll have another increase next year. So we're trying to make some minor changes to that to make it through 2022. That's our hope. I talked to Envoy this morning. We're, on getting down to the lockers in the locker room approved this morning. And so with the groundbreaking, I'm going to get with Jason, and the yard will need mowed out there. We're going to see. I know he's busy. We'll borrow the mower if we have to. But the entrance and exit out to that land is pretty disturbed from the construction. Jim Spears saw me having a hard time getting out of the lot last week, so he's worked with Fox to get that stabilized so we can get cars up and down for the groundbreaking. So
That would be good.
that's what we're doing. Any questions? All right. That's all I have. All right.
Thank you. Okay, Chief Stedham, Fire Department.
Good evening, everybody. I would first like to congratulate the police department on winning the ball game. It was a good game, fun to watch. It's kind of nice to see all the camaraderie between everybody and everybody kind of backing, the cops or the firemen and having a good time. So it's kind of nice. So again, just congratulations, definitely get that out of the way ahead of time. I'm not sure. Is it 3-3?
I think so.
Okay. I didn't get to see the trophy, so I don't know where we all stand. A couple things that I have today was kind of the same sentiments he had. Basketball game. We were told it was around 3,000 they raised for the Boys and Girls Club and Special Olympics. So he kind of already hit on that. Ladder 1 still has its problem. I know we talked a little bit about it last week. We have a repair company coming in tomorrow to hopefully figure out what the problem is. We have no idea what cost could be. I mean, it could be very expensive. It could be something easy to fix. But they're coming in tomorrow to look at that, so I'll have an update for you later on this week. We're working on township contracts right now. So we're going to kind of get towards looking at what we need to do, if we need to increase those, if we're going to keep them the same. So just some of the information to let you guys know about. The couple other things is we have permitted one of the fireworks companies to do fireworks at the fairgrounds this Friday. Just so you are aware, it is this Friday. All the state permits have came through. The insurance is all filed with the state, so he's gotten the clear go ahead to do it. It's the one they do every year. Last year they did it at the fairgrounds as well. The only difference is he's calling it a Father's Day weekend kind of a presentation. So it's just him kind of getting his fireworks out there displayed and letting people see them. So it's obviously a sales thing for him as well. Last thing I have is I just want to make sure you guys are aware. I did talk to the pension board on Friday about a lot of different things, and they have decided they want to go ahead and start a new process for the hiring process. I did forward you guys an email since I just got it today from Russell Sheets, who's on the pension board. He sent it to a marketing person. That marketing person kind of made it look pretty and more appealing. So I did forward that to you guys' email. You guys should have that in your email now. Hopefully you have it.
I had not seen it, but.
Okay. Well, I forwarded it out to you probably about 30 minutes ago now.
Oh,
It wasn't too long ago. But just want to let you know that that's kind of the idea here is the process that we want to try to do is we're looking for the fact that when we look at what we have now in our hiring pool, they felt as if, for the potential growth of the fire department that maybe we need to extend. I think law enforcement kind of ran into the same problem. We're not getting a lot of applicants. So we want to extend the process. It will be starting mid-June to about, I think it's the 17th of August is what our application process is going to be. And we're hoping to have a new pool by the second week of October.
And then how long are those applications?
They're actually good for 2 years. So the state requires us to do it every 2 years. They just did one back in the fall. Again, just with meeting with the pension board Friday, they just decided that they thought it would be best interest to start a new pool. Now, the people who are in the pool currently, they will stay active until the October timeframe when that application or the process is completed and they start new pools. Those people that are in there now will stay part of that.
Okay.
venues that you're reaching out? Is it more than social media? Do you think?
Well, with the pension board, they want to reach out with social media. They want to put some advertisements up and around, and then we're going to post them on some different websites. Obviously, the fire chief's websites, we're going to post it on there, so that way we kind of get it out to all the fire chiefs in Indiana. They can post them around as well. So we're just going to kind of try to network, get a lot of that information out, and try to get some more recruits in. That's what I have. Do you have any questions?
I think, talking to some of the guys this morning, so all the new gear should be issued, right? Now, and then I think with the application or the introduction of the reciprocating saws,
Yes.
about all the equipment that had been ordered for the three.
So it's a good point. One of the things that did happen Friday as well is we finally got our conversion kits for our battery powered chainsaws. We've had the chainsaws for several months, but we just got they just got delivered Friday. So they have been, our mechanic was going to install those today, put the new bars on, new chains on, and now the chainsaws will go on the trucks as well. And yes, as far as the fire gear goes, it is all here. There's a few little glitches with some sizes, I think, but other than that, it's all here. We're good to move forward.
Is everyone excited about their new gear?
Everybody loves it. They had a fire on that Sunday, a few days afterwards, and I couldn't hear anything but positive things about just how light it was, how it didn't hold water. So the weight distribution was so much different. There wasn't that excessive weight bearing down the whole time, so they really like it. So it's working well.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Jason, Forsyth Street Department.
Thank you, Mayor. Everybody's doing well tonight. I'm not sure, Lester, you want to handle it, take it off? Works for me, but I don't know what works. I guess I'll start with let's put together an invitation to bid for our 2022 Community Crossings road paving project. Looks like we'll be posting that. Let's see here. Yeah, the 18th through the end of the month, and then we will open bids on July the 11th. Board works meeting at 5 o'clock. So that would give everybody an opportunity to put together a bid force and everything like that. I think, Carol, you have the information for the projects and everything, or?
Yes.
Good. So, yeah, we'll do the posting for the 2 weeks that we're required to, and then open bids on July the 11th for that next round of projects. Then, obviously, once we get a contractor, we'll.
What's the total amount that we?
I believe
Over
it's 611, something like that, 622, something like that.
Jason, both you and Carol will have those scope of work and specs down for it.
Yeah.
I defer to his office to answer any questions.
Next thing I have is Les put together I guess we can do this, a new lease agreement.
We need to do a motion.
Okay, yeah. Good idea, yeah. That'd be great.
I'll make a motion that we accept the invitation to bid presented by Street Superintendent Forsyth.
One second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, and she'll make sure that gets posted.
I'm not sure if you all got a copy of this. I got it today from Les. He was asked to put together a lease agreement between the street department and Wildcat Solid Waste District. I've read through this. It looks pretty self-explanatory to me. I know it was nice to see some of the information in there as far as insurance and things like that with the kind of things we've dealt with in the past out there, 2 or 3 different times having to call the bomb squad, the fire department, things like that. I think that was definitely sufficient. And a lot of people go in and out of there every day. So, other than that, I don't see. I know it was from 2008 was when the last one was kind of in process there, so to have a new one here is kind of nice to have an agreement between us and then moving forward with the, Joel does a good job out there. I know he's got some help now, which was huge for him, I think, and obviously it gives an opportunity for people in the county to take some of those things to them, so I'm okay with that.
Okay,
You guys are all right with it?
yes.
And I think, Jason, it seems like every time I'm out there, it seems like it's a busy place. And they always has, things piled up there and people are bringing things in. So I don't think it's lessening any, for the use of that. It just seems like it's more and more.
The biggest problem they're having right now, Greg, is they're having a hard time getting people to come pick the stuff up. The TVs, those types of things are, there's not a lot of people that want to do it anymore. But, they get there and then you got several trailers out back, but you go out back about every time, you're gonna see a trailer 3/4 away full of TVs. I mean, they're just constantly coming in out there.
He's busy, it seems like all the time, doesn't it?
He definitely needed help, for sure.
Les, will I need to make sure that that agreement is signed if approved, or is that something you will take care of?
Well, Judy's the one that will sign it, so it just needs to be approved by motion tonight. And this has been batted back and forth. I did the original draft and worked with Clark Beard on it, and they just made a couple of really cosmetic changes. The Wildcat folks, that's sort of a different entity than we had before because Tippecanoe County was a part of it in years past. That was one of the reasons we had to redo the lease agreement. But as far as I know, this is the final draft. So if it's approved, I think Judy can go ahead and sign it. And I can email it over to the county.
Okay, well, it looks like it needs notarized as well.
Yeah, I can notarize it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make the motion that we approve the lease agreement, the updated and final version of the lease agreement for the Wildcat Creek agreement, if you will.
Listen,
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, have that approved.
The next thing I have is our annual city auction coming up on the July the 16th at 10 a.m. out at the street department. As we've always done, there'll be a small preview on the Friday before that. And then on the 16th at 10 a.m. is when we'll kind of take care of all that. So if the city, anybody in the city wants to get rid of anything, as far as utilities or our city departments, get those to us probably a week ahead of time. And I think Rick, if he hasn't been around some of your departments already, he'll probably come around and want to take a few photos for their website just to kind of increase the opportunity for anyone to come join us on that Saturday. So, July 16th, 2022, and I believe it's, Mayor, as always, 25% of that
That's correct.
go to the auction here.
We have a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the city auction contract as presented by Street Superintendent Forsythe.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
The next thing I have is I have 2 bids here for our downtown line striping. After talking to you guys last week, I did some other things and got with Moore's seal coating. And I believe we have a good apples to apples quote in front of us. The first quote will come in from CR Line Striping here in town. Both of these are local business. And this is do all the downtown line striping, double paint. This also includes the red stripe in front of the fire department and the blue stripe that's going to go in front of the police department, as well as obviously all the parking spaces, all the handicap spots. I've asked them to hold off on Washington Street until we pave that. And now that we've got that process moving, hopefully, I don't know if they'll be done before that to be able to get that done, but I've asked them to hold off until then to do that work down in front of Prairie Creek Park here from Sycamore up to Jackson. But the first bid is for CR line striping is $14,135. If you have any questions about anything else about what we do downtown, let me know. And then the second bid for more seal coating in the amount of $13,500. The other thing that does include as well is the striping within Old Stoney's lot. Both, obviously both sides, and obviously out in front, that was already in there, so. So 14,135 and then 13,500 two that I received.
Thank you for
And I
giving
will-
clarification.
I will say that we budgeted this year at 10,000. So
We're gonna have to move some money around.
yeah, we're gonna have to find, the difference in that somewhere, but it's something that we need to be, we're gonna have to have it done. I just
Right.
think the cost has gone up more so than we expected.
Oh, and obviously Megan being here and Mr. Worthen, if we're gonna do this every couple of years, we're gonna have to look at up that budget. Because obviously paint's going up along with everything else and the budget line that I take this out of is also where I take stone, where I take our patching and things like that out. And we're still working on alleyways, so we're gonna have to move some money around, which we have some there to do that. But that's something we need to keep in mind as we move forward into the budget season for local road street for sure.
Yeah, because that is, like you said, taken out of local road and street. It's not up here.
And I remember when I first started doing that, and I think we did it every year for the first 3 or 4 years, it was around that $7,000 to $8,000 to $9,000 range, and now we're looking, 14,000, 13,000. So
So we can either take this under advisement, or if you want to go ahead and make a decision on who to go with.
I think if, I'm hearing from Jason that money is there, we'll just have to be, very intentional about these things. We're gonna have other overages throughout our budget season too, I'm sure. I mean, as far as having to find out where we get this cost overage that we're not experiencing. Everybody's everywhere. So I'd like to make the motion that we approve the lesser bid from Moore of $13,500.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. I'm gonna guess they probably have something they need for us to sign, or did he have
he hasn't sent me anything.
Okay.
He may once I let him know. He
Okay.
see the bid. What I would ask if we could, sit down and see how often we want to do this. If we want to do it every couple, 3 years, or how often we want to do it. I know you can look at downtown and kind of tell, but some areas, I don't think it needs to be done every year, but some we might want to sit down and talk about.
Has it been a couple of years since Old Stony?
I think, yeah, for sure as well. And Megan, I think when we paved Old Stony, it was at a different time than we normally stripe.
Okay.
But I know when we paved, we striped it, but I don't think we striped this and that, it's the same year.
Because it needs it here.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and here it's been 2 years plus since we paved this lot, since they redone the
Probably.
lot.
Okay.
I think it was the year that they finished the
The renovation.
renovation project, somewhere around there. Okay, the next thing I have is a special purchase. I spoke to you guys last week in reference to a Ford F-350 that Les put together for me, Super Duty 4x4. That's a used vehicle, 9,334 miles from Pearson Ford in Zionsville. The reason we were looking at a used vehicle, so everyone knows, is we have a difficult time and haven't been able to order a new vehicle. Normally we would order an F-450, but what this F-350 does, it enables us to do pretty much an F-450, what an F-450 will do. We'll be putting plow on the front of it, and obviously a spreader. It would have to be a smaller spreader than we normally put on our truck, but a salt spreader in the back to help us out in the winter time. And it will be able to do streets and parking lots and everything else that we've always done in the past. We got to a point where we had that money there. I could not even order a truck from anyone at this point. I don't know when I would be able to. So I appreciate Les putting a special purchase together, an amount of $53,954 from Pearson Ford Designsville.
We actually had appropriated this year $60,752, so that's under what we had appropriated, but is that where you were thinking about this?
That's well, probably get a plow out of it.
Okay.
And is this approval, by approving the resolution 22-10? Is that what we're doing at this point? Yes.
Megan, I didn't see it there. Okay, I see now. I didn't see the resolution number on there. I apologize.
I want to make sure. I'll make the motion, we approve resolution 22-10, which is authorizing the special purchase of the truck that Superintendent Forsythe just mentioned.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, Jason, and I hope they still kept it for us.
They do. They still have it. They still have it.
That's good.
Carol, you should, once we get things going, I think they have all the paperwork all taken care of. They know where to send that, so we get the plates and everything for it. I know we've had some problems in the past with that, so. Just two more things. The next thing I have is a purchase of a snow plow for that particular truck. I have two quotes here, one from Phoenix Lawn and Garden for a Snowway 8'6" V-blade. And what this 350 enables us to do with the V-blade, it's a little easier to operate a V-blade in a smaller truck. So we thought a V-blade would be where to go when we're working in the corners of the parking lots, the above ground, things like that. The V-blade works out a little bit better for us. But we will, it's got the LED headlights, just a normal snowplow. And that's installation and everything. Total price is $10,477. That is a Snowway 8'6". Clark Truck Equipment out of Crawfordsville. They deal in Western plows. Same size plow, V-blade. From Clark is $9,284. So they are a little lower than Phoenix. The Western plows and Snowway plows are both good plows. We've used both of them. Some guys prefer one, some guys prefer the other, but and that's installed as well. Both of them will be installed for us on site.
Did you have any idea where you're gonna take that balance from? If we use what's remaining in here and
I don't have that in front of me, Mayor, but
54, looks like it's gonna be, yeah.
somewhere around 4,000, I think. Or something like that. Yeah.
I think you'd have enough someplace
You got that
else.
appropriation from you.
I do.
Yeah, so I can look at it.
Like your glasses.
That's what we have in CCD. Yeah. So we would have to take it,
Probably use
like have Indy or edit. Okay. You think you'll be okay? Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion for this?
Do we have a recommendation of the plow that you would prefer?
I actually like the Western the best, is what I prefer. Obviously having Phoenix here close in case something would go wrong with it. They've always worked well with us, but we worked with Clark on tons of other things, trash trucks, things like that in Crawfordsville. So either one would work, but I know we have more Westerns than we do have the snowways. But, obviously always want to give everyone local an opportunity, but
So that would be Clark.
I'll make a motion and that we accept the bid for the snowplow from Clark, from the bids presented by Superintendent Forsythe.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
thank you.
Okay.
The last thing I have is, just want to give everyone an update on the speed bumps. I got an email that our speed bumps are being shipped. So as soon as they get here, we can get a couple guys out to get them back up on Clay Street, South Ridge, and Crescent. We will do so. We was waiting on some hardware that we needed to replace. And the one on Clay Street and then the one at South Ridge was completely destroyed. So we had to buy a brand new one for both, there for South Ridge. A couple sections, I should say. Of the 4 sections, 2 of them were, I don't know what happened to them, but they couldn't be repaired by any means. So, and then we'll have the one at 3rd Street Park. So that was obviously bought brand new.
Okay.
Is there any place that you got, I've thought about putting it as you enter in the park. Would we rather put it in as you're entering from the Freeman Street side or from the other side? Or does anybody make any difference? You know, I'd like to keep it in the playground area, but I do know there's a lot of baseball being played down on the other end.
There it
I
is.
know Bart's getting ready to possibly put another piece of equipment down on the other end, but,
Do you have any thoughts on that, Bart?
I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, in the middle seems appropriate, somewhere around the playground area, I think too, yeah.
I mean, we put that sign up recently for the children to play, right there right by where the old bathroom is at. So we could put this a little further south of there if that's all right with you guys, that's what we'll do.
I'm fine with that. Bart thinks that'll work, okay, okay.
And I'll get those in as soon as I can.
Okay, thank you. And I had another question. Where are we on the one-way street, Taylor?
I asked Craig Rutledge to go down and look at the arrows at the one end to see if he could remove those. Unfortunately, pressure washer didn't do anything. He had an idea of some type of machine that'll, I guess, chisel that down a little bit, almost like a small miller type machine, I'm guessing. But the rent that's like $400 or $500. I can't see us doing that. I talked to the mayor today and I see what you guys think, but that's a street we're probably gonna have to pave before too long. So rather than put a bunch of money into it, we can go down there probably with some type of that black, I don't even know what you call it, driveway sealant. I don't know, maybe cover it up. It won't look the prettiest. But, you know, if we're gonna pave it and mill it up, I don't recommend painting any lines on it. I don't recommend, you know, renting a $400 or $500 piece of machinery to take the arrows away. I think it's something we could probably put on the next community crossings list and try to do that, because there is a really bad spot on the south side of Clinton at Taylor that we're gonna have to repair at some point in time, either cut it out, repair it, or just pave it in general. So if you guys would be okay with us finding something just to cover it up. Like I said, it's not gonna look the prettiest down there, but you know, we're gonna save probably $750 just in what Craig was telling me we would have to do to try to take care of it.
So will we have some sort of signage then? I know Kimberly's gonna put out social media and the media what we do, but is there gonna be any signage down there? It's gone to two-way or
I don't know, I
or
mean,
just take the
I don't
sign
know
down?
anything.
Yeah,
I think just taking the signs down and getting it out on social media. I'm
okay,
sure Scott will probably be on the radio to talk about it. I'll be on the radio. We can talk about it.
okay.
I really haven't talked about a date. You know, and while we're on that, you go down and look at Doyle. And Doyle's a little better than what I thought. I don't know if he feels the same way. With the gas tanks that they have across the front of Gilman's. And some other stuff that they're trying to sell right there along that way. There is a bush I'm gonna have Don take a look at for me on the opposite end Because what I'm afraid of is you're going west on Clinton, this bush that's right there on the corner of Clinton and Taylor, and I know people will kind of angle into the parking lot because there's no curving or anything there, and it's wide open. So maybe look at trying to cut that bush back a little bit. And then I sit down on the other end, down there by Taylor and Doyle and Washington, and watched it for probably a half hour, 45 minutes. Everybody seemed to be turning on the right side of the road. But I think that's just something people just have to get used to. But obviously, with her release and everything, and us, passing the word around to everyone, I think it'll work out. So.
And then you'll have stop signs
Right.
going on to the,
Right. We had to add a stop sign going on to Washington.
Yeah.
So.
I'm certainly looking to your expertise, but I was looking at Gilman's the other day in anticipation of it going two-way. And in my mind, since there's a fairly decent section that is what I call no threshold getting in and out of Doyle Street, when you have the two-way traffic, who knows the various individuals at what point they'll pick to turn in. So they've got really basically, I don't know, maybe half a dozen different entry level or entry points. Is that something, do you put in a curb? Is that a Gilman? I'm just thinking of a safety issue for that
Well,
area.
back in the day, he had asked, when he first came to town, he had asked about doing something with that. And the reasoning he gave back then, it really wasn't a good reason. Because he still had entries in off of Washington and Clinton. As far as the others, people are going to be going a lot of different ways.
Mhm.
But I would think that, in my opinion anyway, if there's anything put there threshold wise, it would be on Gilman's to do that. And that's something he would have to look at. I know people coming in and out of that drive in all sorts of ways. I know you come, you gotta go down along the side of it, to go behind it to get to the lumber area. I don't know, it's a pretty busy place, obviously, and that was my main concern with it the other night, with not doing anything with that at that point in time. Although it does help other businesses making it two-way on the other side as well, with Coach Kids and the barber shop and things like that. So I think keeping everything in mind, I'm good with getting it two-way, but I would think, any kind of barricade or anything up along there would be his responsibility.
I'm just thinking like any business, there's really one entry point or exit along that street, along Doyle into Gilman's, rather than just whenever you feel the urge to turn left.
But to be honest with you, Megan, if you go down the State Road 28 and see the changes that were made in the businesses down there, they kind of hold you to one entry and one exit, sometimes just one entry and one exit for certain reasons. And that one there is probably one that would probably be cut down if there was any kind of major work being done out front.
I look forward to Doyle being two-way, but I just want to make sure we have safe entrance and exit in front of Gilman's.
I was thinking, but our last conversation was that Taylor was gonna go ahead and he made two-way, and then we were gonna wait on Doyle to see specifically how that was gonna be addressed at the parking area. So is that something we should continue to pursue with Gilman on how that's gonna be addressed for that parking area then for?
might be something to talk to him
I
about.
can talk.
Okay. And I think the other concern too was Coach Kids. We had parking on that side or not. I think that's wider there, so we would be okay with,
On the other side.
to still have that parking.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can just not make any decision on Doyle yet and still check into it. Okay.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Scott, what about the residents? Did you say that you,
And we have a letter drafted and translated. We used Monday, June 22nd. That was just a draft. We're waiting. We want to get the road marking taken out. And I support Jason on, I've covered it up for this year. I don't see the need for lines down the middle of the road. So we've got the letter, Mersol's translated it. We just want to get a date and then put it on vehicles down there and also the apartment building. There's only 2 houses that each of them have a driveway with at least 2 cars to park. So I guess if they were to have visitors or whatnot, they could park on Clinton or Washington and walk down. So yeah, we're ready. We're just waiting. We want to put a date on there that Jason and I are ready. It's just getting those arrows. I think that's the only problem.
it makes sense to me to cover
We
them
can do
up.
something like that pretty quick, like,
Okay,
somebody go down and take care of them, we'll take an hour to do it.
okay. Appreciate it. So whenever you guys feel comfortable that we're ready to go. Okay.
I lied, it wasn't my last night.
Oh,
We have $93,321 left from our last community crossings project, that the city is able to use. I'd like to sit down with all of you and see what we'd like to do there. The mayor and I have a couple ideas as to what we would like to do. And Carol's done a lot of checking into how we have to use that remaining money. At first, we thought we would have to use Reeve Riley because it was there and it was contracted under them. She did find out that we can't use them. I guess it'd have been easier, if we could have used them. But we would actually have to, once we figure out what we want to do, get a quote, we would have to rebid that particular project or whatever we decided to do. If it's 2 projects, to be able to spend that 93, we would have to rebid that just like we normally do. So unfortunately, that's another request for proposals. But that's I wanted to just bring that up to you. We've had a couple ideas what we'd like to do. The mayor did speak about the county wanting to basically work with the city about doing County Road 0. So we kind of talked about that a little bit, and we can talk about it more. I just think it can't be involved in our community crossings because the mapping sometimes doesn't work out for us. And I didn't know until like 2 or 3 years that I came in that the city even owned any of that. So I'm guessing with what I've seen in the past, that County Road 0 is probably not even in our mapping system. We wouldn't be able to use it for community crossings. So we may look at that. In my opinion, we should look at that as a separate project, maybe down the road later on. So that's just my opinion. But we did talk about that as well. So yeah, it's like I said, 93,321, and we can break it down. And just to give you an idea, Williams Road that we just paved recently was about that amount of money to go from Walnut down to the bridge on Williams Road. So obviously that might go up a little bit because of gas prices. When gas prices go up, the asphalt prices go up. So, but I think there's plenty of roads in town. If we want to do just one good sized road, there's plenty of roads in town that we can talk about.
so what happened is when we went to the state and asked for this community crossings grant, we actually had a higher, what we thought would be the bid for it, correct?
Right.
And so then when it came back, it was lower than we expected. Well, we have to return the state's portion of that, which is over $85,000. And the city had 93,000 that they had budgeted for it. So we can use our 93,000, we just can't use the state's because they specifically approved those projects. So that's how
A lot of that had to
came
do
about.
with, like I just talked about asphalt prices. The quote on the asphalt prices, I think, was about $5 to $10 less than, or more than what we ended up being charged when we did the work. And that was a big part of that. When you take about take $10 per ton away, right, you're talking about a lot of money. That was probably about 60,000 of that.
And as Jason said, Carol will work with state board and see exactly what we have to do to use that 93. Whether we'll have to do additionals or whether we can just use that same PO. I know it just depends on what state board would approve, but I think it'd be very beneficial for the city to be able to spend that 93,000.
Alright.
Thank you, Jason.
Sorry.
Okay, is anybody here? Nobody's here from building services. I think they sent us a report, didn't they? Okay. It's just the normal report with the number of permits issued and the revenues. Collected $2,905 for the month of May. And as you look down through there, you see the different permits that they have asked for. We have 19 people participate in the 50/50 sidewalk program at this time. So it looks like they've been really busy. Okay. Parks Department.
Good evening. So I had emailed you all about some possible people starting for us. And so the first thing I have is our full-time labor position. They've been through all the process. They passed their drug screening and their background check rather. And so I would like our new full-time labor to start on June 21st, which is next Tuesday. Only because Monday's a holiday.
That's right. Yep.
And this is not one that we've approved previously.
All you guys did is let me move forward with his process.
Yeah,
Just process, okay, yeah, because it sounded familiar, but not, okay. I'll make a motion that we approve, your recommendation to hire the particular individual for full-time labor.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, and you get them into HR, get them ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The other one I have is our part-time labor that I had spoke to you guys about. Same scenario. I would like him to start on July 21st or June 21st. The only difference is he does not have his drug screen back yet, so it would be pending his negative drug screen.
I'll make a motion that we approve the part-time labor position pending the passing of the drug screening to start on June 21st.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you. The other thing that I have is I have a person that has applied for our groundskeeper, the facility groundskeeper position. And so I would like permission to start the paperwork and get that hiring process going as long as our insurance company says that we will be able to insure her.
And I'll make the motion that we proceed with the hiring process for that individual. And again, it is pending the decision by the insurance company for operational vehicles.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Thank you,
Okay.
folks. I have two things. The first is we got the basketball courts at TPA remodeled now. So we had 4 volunteers from NHK show up on Friday, and we were able to give them the materials, and they suited up and went out and repainted the basketball fences, all of them, including the goalposts, and they did an excellent job. And I was not expecting them to even get done that day, and not only did they get done, but they did fantastic. So
Thank you, right? To
Yes.
NHK.
yeah, so and they're actually coming the next 3 weeks. So we've got volunteers coming from NHK the next 3
That's great.
Fridays. So I'm excited about that. Then we also got new nets put up, and we had the cracks fixed. The street department had asphalt that they were willing to let us use, and so we had 2 big major cracks across both the courts that were kind of at half court, and so we were able to dig those out and fix them today. So we got that whole project done. So I'm proud of that, and we'll be ready for the 4th
Thank
of
you,
July.
Jason.
Yes. The only other thing I have is the zoo and aviary this week. We're gonna close at 3 because of the heat. And so it'll be just 11 to 3, and then we're gonna post that tonight on social media and let people know that it's just too hot for the animals. In the 90s, we just kind of limit their interaction with them. So that's all I have.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody have anything for me?
I was just gonna ask at our next, Board Works planning, which is again open to the public, it's posted, but that's next Wednesday, correct? Not this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, the next
But the week from Wednesday. I know I would benefit from if you, when you join us, kind of update us on the tennis courts and the Dorner project, pickleball, and I know you were working on the quotes and so forth, and so I've lost track of where we are on all that.
Just feel
And
like
if we could, yeah, that'd be great. Get my head on straight. I appreciate it.
Anything else?
You have a lot going on.
We've got a lot. We're getting some new people hired, and we'll be back at full strength in no time.
Good.
We had a nice turnout the evening that we were up there for the,
Downtown tunes.
yeah, that was nice crowd there. It seemed like everybody was
Yeah, I
enjoying
really
it.
like that.
Yeah, I've been impressed for all of our events so far, even though we've had some weather issues. Seems like a lot of people are showing up. Our movie night was huge. I mean, we had
Yes, I
more
was
people
up
last
there.
for the movie night than probably everyone combined last year. So that says a lot that, we're getting the word out and people are excited about our events. So it makes us proud.
And the kids were so excited with that movie. They were enjoying it so much.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, thank you. Kimberly, community development for us, please.
I'm going to apologize, Kimberly, I left the event approval for the hot dog festival on there, so we can just skip right over that.
Yeah, we approved that last meeting, so. The only thing is I just have some updates going on, so we are now rescheduling 2 concerts. Apparently I stretched my luck on the Thursday event, cause Saturday it poured. So, we'll be rescheduling those. We did get the first, Frank Bradford, which covered for Cody Eichert for, cause he tested positive for COVID. So, he was able to perform, so it'll just be Cook and Bell that we will have to, reschedule. The Grassroots, I met with them, they're a student youth group, with Esmeralda Cruz and Purdue Extension, and I asked them a questionnaire, about how to get youth more involved, and I'm, excited to share with you guys next week some of those answers that they gave. I said, you don't have to put your name on it, you can be anonymous, you put your name on it. Even a way to contact you if you want, to make sure that your input is heard. So, was really excited to meet with them and present and kind of talk about things that are going on in the city and how we can get the youth involved. I am working with Don's office. There's a new bank that's interested in coming to Frankfort and servicing Clinton County. They're looking for to just put an ATM now and then to put an actual brick and mortar bank building in the coming future. So excited to work with Don on that project. And then this Saturday, Jason Walls will be here at the Prairie Creek Park stage and Echoes of Pompeii. And I am very excited. Our alcohol vendor for this event will be the main event. So this will be their first time being a vendor and kind of getting out into the public before they open their new restaurant, which is where Johnny B's used to be. So Mike's been great to work with so far, and I already have their alcohol permits and all of the information that we need from them. So, and then the other thing that I have is Monday is a city holiday. So I don't know if Jason talked about this, but Trash will Run is scheduled, and all those posts will be going out on social media for the community to be aware of. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. You've been busy.
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, and I love the placemats that you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see my puppies?
Mhm.
Yeah, they're they're at 10 different locations around the city. So we also have magnets placed. I've ordered, I think, 250 little like refrigerator magnets with all the dates on them. So they're at about 5 different locations.
So we're trying to get the word out. People know what's going on in Frankfurt. Thank you, Kimberly.
You're welcome.
Okay, Les.
I think Jason covered everything that I was going to talk about. I had shortly before the meeting circulated an addendum to the public-private agreement for the police station and the aquatic center. And this kind of wraps things up from the EPA standpoint. There are certain exhibits referenced here that will be attached to it, the project budget, the final plans. We have identified in paragraph 4 each of the additional insureds that we need on the insurance policies. I had asked Adam Collins, well, actually I put it in there, paragraph 6, late in the closing on the police station, there's a lender involved, it's Capital One lending or something like that. They insisted on being named as a dual obligee on the performance of payment bonds. So I added that as paragraph 6 in there. So that'll happen when we get those bonds. The mayor, I think, will approve this or will sign it, but I thought we'd run it through the Board of Works for approval. This final draft has not probably gone to Envoy by now. I don't anticipate there will be any other changes. If there are, I think the motion could include authority of the mayor to sign with any further changes.
I'll make the motion to approve the addendum to the public-private agreement and approval of police station guaranteed maximum price. It's the police and the aquatic spot for the mayor to execute the document, but also should there be any future changes that you also be authorized to execute those as well.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
I believe that's all I have, Mayor.
Where are we on 16 North Main?
We have another bid that came in, that Carol emailed it to me today. And so the last letter I sent out to the 2 remaining bidders, I said after this, we'll just meet at my office and bid it off.
Okay,
So maybe in the next week or so, we'll have that finalized, but we've got some real good bids. It's really kind of.
anybody else have anything this evening? Anything?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
So
Okay, thank you, everyone, for being here this evening.
Okay.